This video is not intended for children. Hello everyone, this is Taryn.
This is Isaac.
And we are
True Masters and Morons.
Playing the dooms that are eternal.
I should say, we're not playing Doom today. We're reading Doom today.
Now, some of you might think that means we're finally doing the lore episode. No, there's just 6 of these, 7 of these, 8, that's right, 9 of these.
So and 8 of them that we'll be reading fresh today.
Bada boom. History of the Sentinels, Part 2, because we read Part 1 last time. Translation from the Ligra Sotagenta. Sotagenta? Whatever. Book of Kings. In the time of grief, when King Atrix took the throne, a blessing came to the people of Argenta. White porcelain beings from a world above our own brought gifts to Denur. Observers to our great deeds, admirers of our convictions, they sought to make bond with our swords and bring lasting order to our world. These were beings unlike any we had seen before. Sword and shield held no weight against them, for the ethereal flesh of these luminous beings seemed unbound by mortality. Able to move through time and space, they held sway over all dominions of the known and unknown dimensions. Through their ways we grew stronger, our society bolstered by their infinite wisdom and all-knowing power, assuring our people's safety for all time, in this world and the next. Where we sharpened the blade and mastered our magic, they bolstered the soul and the spirit. Death would no longer be the end for our people. The ones we call the Makers, our new allies in this brutal world, have given us the security in death we fought so hard to achieve in life. We would find peace, and our minds would rest easy with the knowledge that those we fought alongside in battle would join us in the lands beyond the mortal plane. The strength of our ways, the purity of our essence, would, by Maker law, grant us passage to the great city in the clouds. There, our women and children, warriors and kin alike, would welcome us. That doesn't sound like a pyramid scheme at all. We adopted the holy doctrines of the Makers, gifted in exchange with a chance to earn eternal rest for our mortal souls in blessed Urdak. The covenant we now held under the embrace of our new gods fostered a peace we had never known, for they were unlike the first ones, whose presence offered no paradise from fear and the uncertainty of existence in a harsh and unforgiving world. The Makers' embrace was warm, and guided us into an era of spiritual prosperity.
Yeah, that definitely sounds like a pyramid scheme,
Come, join us in the city with the clouds, where all the rest of your family is, that no one can ever see again. Because no fiction has ever abused that ability.
So they want, and that also, 100% confirms for me that the Makers are haha, we're going to take your souls and use them for energy, but we're totally saying it's that you get to meet your family.
Hey, you get to meet them in the energy conduits with everyone else.
Exactly. It's like, ooh. All right. History of the Sentinels, Part 3. Translation from the Ligra Sultigena Book of Kings. I'm never going to pronounce that right. Get over it. With machine and enchantment of the Makers, the Argenta brought our newfound clarity to the disparate realms of the Empyrean Void. We took flight with the support of our gods, spreading the enlightened word of the Khan Maker. We discovered there was not one enemy, but many. Worlds and people unknown to the Argenta were unveiled, and we saw our own suffering reflected in their eyes. Our righteous armies strode into battle under the banner of the Night Sentinels and fought for the freedom of all peoples from the grasp of those who would exploit and prey upon them. Though we battled on soil not our own, the blood we shed in foreign lands safeguarded Argent Denur, and the sons and daughters that defended it. Through the strange peoples we liberated, new alliances were formed, and our beliefs became their own. Our armies swelled. As the Argenta traversed the stars with gleaming war fleets, the Khan of the Makers approached King Rowan on his throne. He sensed his god restless in her disquiet manner. The king and Khan spoke, and the god revealed she had foreseen a schism in the blood of the Argenta. A test would be required to identify its host among us. She spoke of a holy rite to be performed on the strongest of our warriors. Only those that proved worthy would be tested, for the impurity could reside in only the most resilient of our legion. The divinity machine, a great tribute by Maker Scholaris, would help us to cleanse any impurities from our flock, ensuring our continued prosperity in this world and in the Maker realm that awaited in the afterlife. The malicious one, if not exhumed from our ranks, would jeopardize our safe passage to the heavenly realm of Urdak. The Dark One was not amongst them yet, nor would he be for many generations. Only the Mother God, through divination and Maker sight, would determine when he stood before them. The Makers were truth, and only their unclouded eyes could find the one who was marked. The prophecy of the Unholy One was written, but through the ages the warning grew faint, until only the Khanmaker herself and the high priests of the Order of Daeg still whispered of he that would one day come to threaten their way of light. So, yeah,
well, that's not a whole bunch of BS at all.
Oh my gosh, so much just like, haha, we're gonna go and destroy these other worlds until they believe in our religion. It's literally a galactic crusade.
But then also it's like someone's going to be impure. Only I'll know who it is, but someone's going to be impure. Mm-hmm. Yeah, sure. Mm-hmm.
Well, and here he is, the impure.
He's so impure, bathed in the blood of 1,000 demons smashed on his fists. Okay. History of the Sentinels, Part 2, translation from The Book of Kings. In the time of King Novik, as the Argenta secured peace and safety through the dimensions across time and space, an Outlander came to us. He was not of our world and spoke an ugly tongue. How he first took step upon our land was unknown. Sentinel scouts had found the Outlander bloodied, clawed, and near death, mumbling of impending doom and the forces of darkness. The scent of blood followed him, and the gore that stained his armor seemed not entirely his own. By Argenta law, the stranger would be judged in the Colosseum. Side note, that is not how you spell that word, and it annoys me every time I look at it. Where he would be given the chance of all who stray from the path to fight for his freedom. We knew not of this stranger. His mind seemed crippled with rage. He dressed in attire not suited for our lands and carried munition of arcane origin. We watched as his will overcame his injuries, and in the blood arena he proved his worth. The Outlander's technique was crude and brutal, but the determination in his charge echoed that of any true-born sentinel. His war cry echoed through the Colosseum as did the sound of his fury, and the guards cheered his banner. "Rip and tear," they shouted as the beast pushed beyond mortal wounds and certain death. He would be gifted no rank, no title. The survivors in the arena were provided only one reward, the right to earn an honorable death while spreading the blessings of the Makers to those in need. The Outlander's determination was witnessed, his ravings documented, and through the word of the Order Daeg, the Khanmaker had him brought before her. She set her minions to learning his tongue, for with his ugly words he spoke of lands unseen, creatures born of fire, and a dark place unknown to the Queen and her caste. Yet another opportunity to expand the gift of the Makers to those in need.
So that means that at this point, even the Makers, which are supposed to be the angel things, had never even heard of the demons.
Nope, they're just ravaging their way through space. It's like, oh, demons are a thing? Oh, and demons are a thing.
And demons are a thing. All right. History of the Sentinels, Part 5. Translation from The Book of Kings. On the eve of the Black Star, the Dark Ones came from a world beneath our own, not through ship nor ephemeral vessel, but through the fabric of dimensions. Out of swirling, fiery gates came horned beasts from a timeless realm. First one, then many. Crashing waves of evil swelled from the obsidian forests of the Argentian overlands. The Alorum clans from the eastern mountains fell first to the black hordes of devils, and the city of Telerum was slung under the weight of their charge. We Sentinels rose to meet the beasts with spear in hand, the might of the Holy Fleet striking back at the demons. But the dark gates from whence they came gave birth still to even greater hordes. A line of blood was drawn with the fallen of both sides, and the unholy wars began as the time of darkness came upon us.
No, carnage, no. Oh, look, it's them.
Is that the...
Oh, that's an imp, I believe.
That's an imp, yeah. I'm like, that's a demon.
I thought that was one of the Makers, but yeah, that's an imp. History of the Sentinels, Part 6. Translations from The Book of Kings. Unlike enemies of the past, we could not contain the demons emergent from the Dark Realm. Their weaponry was not conjured from machined steel, but from the essence of their very being, a dark magic not known to us in our many conquests. Had we grown overconfident, our victory serving to dull our blade as we drank in the glory of our expanding empire? Lost, we knew not of how to prevail against this foe. The Maker God stood perplexed, and our engineers and priests scrambled to find the advantage in battles we so desperately needed. Unknown to the enemy, we were pushed to the brink of defeat, and our God stood with us as we worked to find the answer. The Order of the Daeg were the first to unlock the mystery of these foul creatures. The priests were able to capture several of the beasts and set about to identify the source of their power. It was then that the essence of the Dark Realm was discovered. Not wholly unlike our own, this power was the life essence that flowed through their twisted form and powered their attacks. It could be harnessed to power our own weapons, giving the Argenta the chance to combat the demons on even footing. The priests believed that with greater knowledge of the essence, we could discover its source and cut it off from the demons to strangle their armies from within, allowing us to regain the advantage we required for victory on the battlefield. The Khan Maker gave blessings to our majesty and directed the priests to delve deeper into the mysteries of the scarlet elixir from the demonic realm. For she sought only to return balance to our universe. Proper assimilation was required, as hell stood beyond her influence. After great effort, the priests discovered more than they had ever hoped for. They learned of the true nature of the demonic energy and how it could strengthen those skilled enough to harness its power. The energy coursing through the malformed bodies of our relentless enemy could be used to end life or to enhance it. The power to heal, to mend, immortality, knowledge and enlightened faculties beyond our understanding. With the demon's life force in the skilled hands of the Sentinel priest and under the righteous gaze of the Khan Maker, our people would not only rise to victory over the unholy horde that clawed at our walls, we would move to a higher plateau of existence, ushering in a new era of military science and industrial healing. No Sentinel would grow sick, no Maker would need to suffer the transfiguration that they so feared. All would be risen. None could ever oppose our peaceful ways and threaten our world again. True balance over hell and its legions, over space and time. In this world and all others, we would dictate the order. United with the Makers, we would find peace eternal. What do they transform into?
But yeah,
that they're
that's
so
my
afraid of.
What are they so, what is their death that they're so afraid of? Because clearly, obviously, they know that when they die,
They're screwed.
They're screwed. All right.
I like we're just taking that assumption and running with it. Teach the modern marine man to fight with a sword.
Ooh, are you finally gonna use your frickin' sword?
Oh, that'd be cool. That's right. Oh,
look who's in the background, Taryn.
The traitor!
The betrayer, yeah.
Our favorite character from this whole game. We were just discussing that before this episode.
Yeah, we were discussing how much we loved it because it just proved the fact that we were saying that the Doom guy / Doom Slayer was not the betrayer.
Yeah, people kept giving us crap about that. I'm like, look, just because you don't know how to read doesn't mean we're wrong.
Yeah.
So just the fact that this man exists brings me joy. That's my favorite thing about this whole game. He exists. That's it. That's my favorite thing.
So many comments on our Doom lore were like, the Doom Slayer and the betrayer are the same person. And we're like, no, they're not. Stop.
Read it again. The thing that annoyed me most is every one of them would be like, so clearly you didn't read it. I'm like, clearly you don't understand how world building works. So just...
All right.
Part 7.
History of the Sentinels, Part 7. Translation from the Book of Kings. The Khan Maker demanded a tithe of the essence, and driven by her desire, the priests submitted themselves to her will. The Order of the Dag took counsel with the king, speaking only of the spoiled lands sure to be found through the cleft in creation, and the opportunity to purge the new invaders from Argenta. We took the war to their cursed land, pressing through the gates of wizardry. There was one among us who seemed to know the true nature of these foul demons. It was the Outlander, the stranger who had come to us from places unknown. He who had survived in the front lines far longer than any Sentinel-born prisoner had before. His passion for battle against the vile horde was evident, his lust for their destruction matching our own. Though Argenta remained a foreign land to him, his fervor caught the attention of inquisitors of the Sentinel Guard, some whispering of a suspected allegiance he held in secret with the demons. Silencing the critics, King Novak deemed him worthy of selection. The signifiers brought a commission to our king, and it was decided that he be lifted from the common rabble. Though no arena-born prisoner had ever been granted the honor, the Knight Sentinels broke tradition and deemed the Outlander worthy of training. A number of disciples grumbled and chafed at the barbarian present in their ranks, but in the war with the demons, all opportunities for even the slightest advantage were to be considered, and as they witnessed the stranger spar with their hall masters, they found in him an undying, unrelenting compatriot. This man was an outsider, friend to none, and yet rose each time he was thrown to the dirt of the circle. Battered and bruised, his brow stained with blood, he rose with grim determination for the chance to face his enemy in armed combat once again. Time passed as the stranger was instructed in the codified matrices of their order, the ancient lessons of battle and brotherhood taught to all Sentinels. He could sense the opportunity before him. Soon, all of hell would feel his wrath once again. Satisfied that he would not be a detriment to their prowess, the Knight Sentinels granted him his wish as they ventured through the hell gates with the stranger in tow. They knew no rest, fighting in the unnatural elements and training under the blood moon of night. The stranger suffered exhaustion, wounds, and sickness, but asked for no aid, and was offered none. 3 times the Night Sentinels ventured into the gate and back, and upon every return the stranger strode more capable than before. His gait locked in step with the march of the Sentinels, a disciplined and now controlled lust for demon blood ever present. The passing of years and the innumerous battles with the devils indentured the stranger to Argenta's mightiest warriors, and no longer did they condescend to him as a new-blooded conscript, for to them he had become a brother in arms forged in war, an ally, and a weapon.
Yeah, those O's look a lot like A's a lot of the time. It's quite aggravating, actually.
It's like, is it blood? Is it blood? Is it...
Yeah.
The con maker and her angels, bunch of demons being fought off by sentinels, but not you, just sentinels.
Part 8. Translation from the Book of Kings. As we warred with the beast, the Argenta society grew, under the watchful eye of the Makers and through the endless power of the Essence. While our generals were consumed with the unholy war, our culture was marked by the beautiful potion the enemy had provided us, the sweet elixir. Ugh. It brought us immeasurable capacity and empowered us to reach farther into dimensions once thought to be beyond our grasp. Under the direction of our Maker gods and the engineering of our High Priest, our weapons blazed and our war machines stormed. The throngs of the populace drank deeply from the well of energy unveiled by the priest, but we of the Night Sentinels took no part in their abundance. Some among us whispered accusations and warnings against this manner of progress, but they were quelled, as it was not our role to dictate the future of our people, only to defend it. And that's the reason that you're the ones that are alive?
Yeah, alive and not corrupted.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, so this is where we're apparently meeting the... is that him, or is that...
I remember in the first one there was something about him being like the leader of the Sentinels, the king of the Sentinels, or something like that.
Oh, so is that the giant thing he killed in the background?
That's the freaking Titan that he killed, yeah.
Yeah, alright. And the final one for this episode, History of the Sentinels, Part 9. Translation from the Book of Kings. I don't think so, because there's more.
But they're on a different planet.
Yeah, but they're the same... They're under the same banner is all. Translation from the Book of Kings. As the Black Star ascended to its zenith, King Novak sat restless on his throne as a howling darkness began to assemble just beyond the mountain rise to the east. The blight came upon us in droves, flooding forth from the Hell Gate with merciless fury. They brought with them a monstrous titan, the Dreadnought, a beast to rival the stature and menace of even the mightiest ancestral. The grotesque giant laid waste to all before him, crushing all in his path. This was a total demonic assault, striking at the heart of Argenta as never before. How was it that the behemoth could pass through the demonic gate without warning? We would never know, though the Night Sentinels believed treason was at play. Caught off guard, the Sentinels scrambled late in defiance of the Titan and his horde, and with his coming the holy city of Taris Nabad prepared for judgment. With the onslaught of the demons massed in the sprawling shadow of the abhorrent fiend, the city shook to its foundation. None were spared, save those that fled north. The vile swarm ransacked our temples and palaces, burning our towers and feasting on the souls of our clergy. Yet the Night Sentinels rallied and held fast against the demons. Though they were pushed back and corralled at the blood arena, as the dark of night descended, their swords remained potent, and shred the enemy multitude with abandon. Amidst the unyielding ranks of the Sentinels, when all other apprentices had fallen in battle, stood the Outlander. "Rip and tear!" he roared, ferocious in battle. The remaining conscripts of the arena stood in awe as they witnessed the beast who had once raged within their very cells, now armored alongside the shoulders of his Sentinel brethren. He had risen where none other had before, a true-born Sentinel fighter, the very best among them. But though the swarm fell before their assault, the Titan remained invincible, for none could tame the behemoth alone. In the hours before dawn, as the Night Sentinels weathered the relentless assault, the Outlander held his ground at the front of the great wall in the northern bend of the castle. Seeing his unending vigor, Samur, Chancellor to the Mother God, hurried the Outlander away under the veil of secrecy, and, for reason unknown, submitted him to a rite untold. This was heresy, for Samur received no consent from the Khanmaker, nor did he receive her counsel. In the Chapel of Purity, the Outlander submitted himself to the divinity machine. There, Samur Maker, the seraphim known to us only as the aid to the Mother God, blessed the Outlander with fierce speed and power to match his will. It was the method by which this transfusion took place that was most uncertain to us. For we were of the knowledge that the Maker device bestowed unto the Argenta so many generations ago was to be used by the priests only to find the impurity among us. How could it be that the device that was meant to cull the Sentinel breed of its contaminants could then be used to purify the Outlander's body and give rise to the one who would lead us into battle henceforth? What rose from the holy coffin on that fateful day was not the impure abomination the Covenant warned us of. The hero within would come to be known only as the Great Slayer, the Time Walker, the warrior Khan whose fire sword would blaze forth as a path for the just and cut through the demonic horde with a vengeance that only a god king could summon. He rose unbroken by the ritual, his eyes burning with Maker magic. He took the crucible in his hand, and wraithfire leapt forth from the blade as only it will when held by a true sentinel warrior king. In our darkest hour the Slayer had been chosen, defying tradition, our most sacred laws, and the will of the great Khan herself. A stranger to our lands had been blessed with celestial might. Dun dun dun! And that is you! You are the badass unknown human who got turned into,
the greatest.
Something more, apparently.
Because I was already the greatest.
Due to the fact of how lore readings work, I don't actually know for sure how long this episode is, but I do know that we are now out of time according to our stuff. So, we're going to go ahead and end this episode. It was exactly like I thought. This did end up being an episode unto itself. Next episode, we'll go into the Colosseum that's spelled the wrong way according to Taryn, and
Google it. I did. I'm like,
no,
that doesn't seem right.
I'm absolutely sure you're right. I'm just giving you crap. Anyway, thank you so much for joining us today. Thank you so much for enjoying this lore with us, and that was really cool. I love world building. It's especially when it's done well. Yeah, thank you all so much for joining us. If you want to see more of this or any of the Let's Play lore, etc., let us know what it is you want to see in the comments down below. Taryn, you should stop wasting your ammo.
It's just charging.
Uh-huh. And we will see you in the next episode. In the meantime, this has been True Masters and Morons, signing off.
I was giving him something visual to watch.
Thanks for watching this video. If you'd like to see more like it, hit that subscribe orb.
To see our last Let's Play, click or tap the link on the right.
For our last lore video, click the link on the left.
Thank you to all of our patrons for making these videos possible.
Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.